Life is busy.
Do you take the time to reflect on your life, your relationships, and how you choose to spend your time?
Welcome to Self-Reflection Sunday, a short weekly podcast giving you a different perspective about adding value to the world around you.
By looking inside yourself.
Hello, folks. My name is Eddie Lazary.
And I am Bennett Tanton.
And today is the very first introductory episode of our new series, Self-Reflection. Bennett, why do we decide to do this self-reflection? What is it? We've already got Motivation Monday. How is this different?
So let me give you a quote.
Sure.
Follow effective action with quiet reflection. So this came about basically because we sat, that's Peter Drucker, by the way, follow effective action with quiet reflection. This I take kind of as one of our biggest mottos, which is ready, fire, and then aim, right? Mm-hmm. I take it the same way. I kind of look as we come up with ideas. I literally had this idea sitting in my car, driving around, and I was like, gosh, because you and I talk a lot. We talk about all kinds of stuff, and one of the biggest things that we seem to come across, especially with veterans, which obviously that's our main audience, is that a lot of them truly don't know who they are. They don't know themselves. They just don't, right?
Well, I think it's not only that, but they think they do, and then they get out and realize, everything that made them was wrapped around the uniform that they wore, the rank that was on their collar, the position that they held, right?
Trained into them. Like they were trained to think a certain way, to react certain ways. And when it comes down to it, that doesn't necessarily, it's tools and skills that can be used in life, mm-hmm. but a lot of them aren't applicable. Right. And that truly the one thing that you need to know is who you really are. And that has nothing to do with what you do or things that you've done necessarily. You've learned stuff from things that you've done, but that doesn't tell you who you are, right?
Right.
So this self-reflection thing is really just doing a intense self-assessment all the time. It doesn't have to happen every single day. Doesn't have to happen all the time, but so often we just find ourselves going through life on autopilot. Everybody does it, but they don't really think about what they've done. So at the end of the day, almost every single day, I go through a quiet reflection. That's why I like this Peter Drucker quote, follow effective action with a quiet reflection. We never do a mission in the military without an after-action review, right?
Correct.
That's all reflection is. It's an AAR of your life, of your daily experiences. What's good? What's bad? Should I hang out with that person anymore because they seem to be a scumbag? That doesn't help me or my world out. And what have I learned from that? Oh my God, my kids are out of control. What do I need to do? Or how do I take action to make that better? Like, you know what I mean? So it's literally self-reflection, even if you have to pick one instance every day, because it can be intense, right? So it's just, I hadn't thought about that until right now. It's an AAR for your life to an extent.
Absolutely. And a lot of people think, or they hear the term self-reflection and they equate it to or attribute it to something that they hear often like meditation or something that's real woo-woo-y. And in fact, self-reflection really doesn't, it could be, meditation. You could find introspection through other means. But really what this is this series, Self-Reflection Sunday, is a simple way by taking quotes and then asking yourself the question, how does that quote influence me? Or how does that quote impact my life? Or how does my life equate in some way to these quotes? And that's what this whole series is about. It's about taking quotes that we've either probably heard by people all our lives, or maybe even some new quotes you never heard before, and really digging into those quotes and asking yourselves, what does this quote mean and how does it relate to me in my life? And it's really about that. It's about, where are you in your life right now? Are you happy with it or are you not? And if so, or if not, then why? And what can you do to change it if that's what you need to happen? And it's, like I said in one of the self-reflection quotes, the one person that we should probably get to know the best is unfortunately the one person we often seem to know the least, and that person is ourselves.
So the difference between this and Motivation Monday is because there is some bleed over. A lot of people will see that, right? And a lot of people will take it that way. But I think the big difference is that this is totally about you. Don't make this about anybody else. This is about you. And take these quotes and really, you'll hear it ad nauseum. Look in the mirror. Look in the freaking mirror.
That's hard to do that, man.
It's really hard to do that sometimes. And again, it's like you just said, that's the person that we don't, and you know what? A lot of us don't want to know who we are because they might look in the mirror and see a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Truly.
It's scary.
But I think if you're going to live a full, rich, fulfilling life where you're adding value, if you don't know who you are, if you don't know yourself, if you don't trust yourself, if you don't, have things that you just don't address in your life, wow. Like, what are you doing? Like, how do you move on? I don't get it. I don't know how I could. But I guess it took us a while, because I think we're pretty good at this point. I think it took us a while to get there, though.
Well, yeah, and self-reflection not only brings out things that are about ourselves that we probably need to change or alter, but it also sheds light on things in our life that we weren't aware of before that we should probably expand on and do better or do more with, right? Like, there's some things that I ended up looking in myself and discovering that I had strengths that I didn't otherwise think I did. But it's through that process of self-reflection where I stumbled across those things. And then I was able to bring those to the surface and then validate them through actions and through others in my life.
Absolutely. Can't say anything else about it, really. I mean,
yeah, man.
It's really that simple. This is about learning about who you are. I mean, you might think you know, but I'm telling you, you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, and you may have become enlightened or whatever, but see, that's the other caveat and trick. There's no such thing as, ultimate enlightenment.
There's no lighting a candle and all of a sudden just breathing in.
No, you know what I mean?
The universe and just whoa.
No, that doesn't work that way. It's constant. It's constant work. It's constant. It's constantly growing and analyzing and looking at things and just trying to be better. And if you don't want to be better, then you know what? That's fine.
I don't know why I need this, Bennett. I mean, I open up the Sunday paper and I read my sign and my
astrological.
Yeah, and it gives me, and it tells me.
Read all of them, and they're eerily the same every day.
They are, right?
Or it could have been like the one for Leo, who was probably like last week's Taurus. So
right.
Have fun with that. Just saying.
So that's not what we're talking about here, then?
Rinse and repeat. They're like fortune cookie things, man.
So do you know what's fun about fortune cookies? Me and my wife and my son and my daughter, we do this anytime we go to a restaurant, a Chinese restaurant, an Oriental restaurant, we get fortune cookies at the end. The trick is for everyone at the table to open up their fortunes at the same time and then go around the table and everyone says reads their fortune out loud. The only thing is at the very end, you have to add the words between the sheets. And so everybody reads their fortune cookie and says the words between the sheets afterwards. And whichever person gets the best quote with that little tagline on the end ends up winning. So I don't know. Does that make me a bad father that we have this game with my kids? But yeah, my daughter says yes, it does.
Yes,
You're
it
in the
does.
background,
Horrifically bad.
but it's still funny nonetheless. But there you go.
That's some serious self-reflection.
Self-reflection. So there you have it, folks. I hope you enjoy this series, this new series that we're releasing. This is episode 000. It's just an introductory episode. From this point forward, each week you're going to hear a quote read by myself or Bennett, followed by some self-reflection and what we feel that quote means to us. So we hope you enjoy it. And the goal here, the ultimate goal, is at some point is to turn these self-reflection Sundays into their own book, very much like we did with the Motivation Monday series. So you can check that out right now. We've got Motivation Monday Volume 1 available on Amazon. You can go and check that out at changeyourpov.com/Motivation Monday books.
Between the sheets.
Between the sheets. All right, man.
Awesome.